Hello, this is Mahi, and for my final project in ESE350, I am doing shear heart attack. So, what exactly is shear heart attack? Well, it is a robot that detects the warmest heat source around it, plans a path towards it, follows that heat source, and aims to destroy it, but it could have other applications. So, the inspiration for this was initially taking ESE421. It's a robotics course, it's fantastic. I took it last semester, and in it we learned how to program a robot to follow a specific path. But my inspiration for this very specific project was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the famous Japanese series in which this character is a robot that follows the heat source of its targets and aims to destroy them. Now, as for real-world applications, because we don't live in fiction, the military actually uses this technology very frequently, and it is quite useful. It can be used to destroy targets, to locate them and report their location, or to disable them. For example, this robot finds bombs by their heat signal and disables them before they can go off and kill anyone. Now, how will this project actually be built? What goes into it? Well, there will be an IR, or infrared sensor, that will detect the surrounding heat sources. The software will process the location of that source, and then the software will calculate the needed path to get towards it. The actuators, aka the motors, will execute the path and move the robot towards the target. And the distance sensor will keep the robot from running into target to avoid damage. And just as a little extra, the robot will also utter a catchphrase as it approaches the target to draw its attention towards it. As for how this project will meet all of the requirements, first we have our topics, which we need to meet 3 of them. First off, the robot will need PWM. The robot needs PWM calculations to know exactly how fast to rotate each of its wheels via motors as to achieve the correct angle and move towards the target. It's also going to need an internal timer to know how often to utter its catchphrase as it searches for and approaches its target. We're also going to need RTOS. The robot will need constant stream input detection from the infrared sensors as to accurately keep moving towards the target. That is, we need to constantly know where the target is. We can't just know where it was 10 seconds ago, so we need a constant input and keep processing that input as we go. We're also going to need path planning. The robot will need to plan its path towards the target, avoiding obstacles that it might face that obstruct its way. For example, if the warm target is behind a counter, the robot needs to know to go around the counter rather than run into it and be helpless. And we're also going to need interrupts. If a new target is suddenly detected, the robot needs to know to stop, aka interrupt, and go follow that other target as long as it's warmer than its current target. As for input devices, of which we need 1, I am going to use an infrared sensor that detects the warmest target in the surroundings and tracks down its location. And I'm also going to need distance sensors, ultrasonic ones, to ensure that it does not run into any obstacles, and also detects them so as to plan a path around them. As for the output devices, of which we need 1, I'm going to have my motors, aka my actuators, that will be controlled accordingly to move the robot towards the target. And whenever a target is detected, every few seconds a speaker, which is pre-installed in the selected platform, will sound the robot's catchphrase to intimidate its target and draw its attention.